MC Hammer's on Channel 11.
Yeah,
he's coming over here,
he's
right?
He's making the rounds.
I think he's got his son with him.
Okay.
Reality
He
show.
looks different, man. He Twitters. He tweets a lot. He's one of the top Twitterers, I heard.
There she is.
What kind? Is he doing a reality show?
The ex.
Who, is that your lady right there?
That was my ex a year ago.
Where? Let me see.
Oh, boy.
The kid?
Cut to your ex. Cut to your ex. That chick?
Yeah.
And that's the one that Gene Simmons tried to bang?
Yeah.
Fucking Gene Simmons. Like that.
You're over the Gene Simmons thing. Come on.
Oh, believe me, I don't care. She actually, ooh, did she catch me when I was being a bad boy? I had a girl in my walk-in closet when she walked into the bedroom.
You were literally caught with somebody in the closet?
Yeah.
I was right in the closet.
He had his cock in the cookie jar.
And still managed to fucking
he was
bitch about fucking, Gene Simmons wanted to fuck you that one time. This is revenge.
That annoyed me.
Why do you think I'm doing this?
It's for us.
Yeah.
So I can forgive you.
Stephen.
They're doing Hammer Time on the local news.
I'm like, this is the news?
Your
Is this the
ex is
news?
doing some Hammer Time.
Yeah.
All right,
Look-
now we
look
know
at
what
her
we're
go.
doing. E-Rock?
Wow, your lady's dancing around, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she's got the pants. What are they doing?
They all got the pants on. Look at the news guy. That guy is the doctor. He does the medical reports on this news channel.
Well, how am I supposed to take him seriously?
There goes all his credibility out the window.
Yeah.
It's they've done this now every time MC
God, he
Hammer's
looks
been
so,
anywhere.
He looks so different.
Yeah, he's not sick of doing
They
this.
put the pants on. I just saw yesterday.
Look
was
at there he
doing
goes.
another
There he
interview.
goes.
There he goes. Now he's
He
got to
can
do
still
the
do it,
MC
man. He
Hammer.
can still do it.
He's got to do the hammer time. Oh Christ!
That's great. That's like making an Asian guy spin kick when he comes on studio. Get the black guy to dance.
Make him drive poorly.
That's good. This is good. This is the fucking old lady that made Oprah drive her home in fucking The Color Purple. I want to see dancing. Just talk to the guy.
Hammer had an interesting story. It's like, why would you just make him dance?
Do the Color Purple line again.
I want to see somebody dance. I just made that up.
My favorite line in that movie is when Whoopi Goldberg is putting a curse on Danny Glover, and she's like, "Until you do right by me, everything you do gonna fail."
Oh, damn!
I do that to all my enemies.
Oof. And then Danny
Till
Glover
you do
looked at
right
her,
by me.
and he said, "I'm too old for this shit." And she went, "Wrong movie, stupid."
And he tried to get a cab and had to walk home. With his goddamn can't get a cab story.
Who was
right?
that fucking broad that used to come that he would fuck with his wife in the house?
Oh, yeah.
The really hot one, Danny, in the movie.
Which movie?
Color Purple. He had that chick that would come, Miss Avery.
Yeah, the chick.
singer,
The
right?
singer, yeah.
And
That's a good movie.
They had a lesbian thing. Her and Whoopi Goldberg had a lesbian encounter.
And then Whoopi Goldberg invented pants or something. At the end, she's got a pants shop. And everyone's like, what are these? Nobody's ever worn pants before.
That's great. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Wow, is that Hammer in a fucking G?
He's got a little fucking...
Oh, look at it. Oh, he's in a fucking banana hammock.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this from?
This is from the Pumps and a Bump video.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What is he
Let's
doing?
see it. Play it.
What is he doing?
Guy's all cock.
What the
Christ.
fuck, Hammer?
He is all cock. Look at him.
Jesus Christ.
He's got a hammer in his pants.
Come on.
It was basically just a commercial for his penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I know where that house is.
Yeah?
In Los Angeles, yeah.
I can't believe it. I love rap pool videos.
Holy shit. What the fuck? Does he use that to balance? Like a T-Rex tail? God damn, all right. Hence the name Hammer.
What's it like to have a dick that big?
That's just...
Sorry, it's a burden.
You think he fluffed that?
But how could you not?
I don't think that's real. I think he might have something in there because it's a little too
now
stiff.
we got a question for him.
It's a little
That's
too
right.
stiff.
Yeah, make sure we have
Pulse
this
in
video.
a
ready.
I'm
bump.
not saying I'm sure he has a huge cock, but I'm saying for the purposes of this video,
For that,
he
it had to
probably
be
has
fake.
a stunt penis in there.
Why? Because no guy wants to watch like Hammer's fucking dick and
speak for
ball set.
yourself.
Here we are, we're all looking.
We're all watching.
We can't
No
take
one
our eyes
wants
off
to.
it. If it was in front of us, we'd touch it. Who are we kidding?
Holy shit. Come on, Hammer.
Wow, he's doing a lot of that move.
Yeah, he's...
The pump.
And he's in a pool, too. Oh, come on.
Excellent pause,
He's tempting.
sir.
Perfect
Well done.
pause.
Yeah, he's the king of the internet.
Yeah,
by the
that
way.
seems. I think
right.
that might be
Be a little
stuffer.
prosthetic device there.
Maybe because you don't see any helmet outline. You see like a little bump and then it's all ball.
He's pup tenting in a fucking G-string. In a thong.
But anybody would.
MC Hammer next.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
I'm sure MC Hammer wants to hear this as he comes into the studio. Opie and Anthony, Patrice
hasn't
O'Neill,
heard this
comics
enough.
this weekend, Friday and Saturday. And Big Mama Prods on Twitter as MC Hammer makes his way into the studio.
Yeah, he hasn't heard this enough.
He probably has.
Oh, literal Jim.
I got to apologize right off the bat. They're playing like "Can't Touch This." I'm sure I'm sure you
Heard it
heard
enough
it
of
way
that.
too much, right?
I mean, but it's my record, though.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on,
true.
everybody in this business got an ego, baby. you stroke the ego,
All right.
Let me tell you something.
It's
How
all right.
goddamn sick of you of people in goddamn chromium pants dancing around at every friggin' news thing that you're doing. I'm laughing my balls off. I
No,
saw it
I'm
yesterday.
not laughing the same as you laughing. I'm not. I like to see them dancing in the pants. Are you kidding me? I like to see them dancing in the pants. You got to be kidding me.
Why? Because do you think it's funny just to watch them being terrible at it, or because
No, it's more. It's just it's flattering.
No one could really. No
flattering.
one could do it as well. That's the problem.
They do their thing, man.
Yeah, they certainly do.
Dancing is subjective.
Well, we're not going to do it here, MC.
Yeah, I think
Well,
we're
what?
still.
What? Wait. That's part of the deal.
We're not going
That's part
to.
of the deal. I'm not coming in doing nothing unless you're going to get down in the pants. I brought 4 or 5 pair with me, so
Yeah, that's what it is.
All right,
Everybody's got to wear the pants.
know,
Jesus.
So we're promoting what? Hammer Time.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be on A&E, 10 p.m.
Oh,
on
yeah.
Sunday.
We're promoting what? Yeah.
No, I'll tell you. I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't know what the hell you were up to until 2 days ago. I told you outside the studio they had a flash mob video. That
Right.
Went online. It's viral. It's unbelievable. And then all of a sudden I know all about Hammer Time now.
Well, thank God for that viral video. We don't want to have you out of the loop here. We're trying to do things.
But it was beautiful marketing. Really quick for the people that haven't seen it. It's some kind of clothing store in L.A. Mm-hmm. You know the mob thing where all of a sudden everyone shows up at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's people in the store, and next thing you know, the door opens, and how many people? 200 easy?
Yeah, it looks like about 200 people.
Maybe 200 people, and they're doing the dance and everything and freaking out at everybody. And then there's a line dance that goes on, and then all of a sudden someone blows a whistle, and these people are gone.
Yeah.
And the people left going, what the fuck is this? And that's what I said at home, and then I'm like, oh, okay, he's doing a reality show. Right?
Man, thank God for that, because I can't have you out of the loop. You're important in this big picture here. Yeah, so the video, it
was pretty cool,
It's been 4 days, it has 1 million views already, so it went viral really quickly, and people relate to the video. It's a lot of fun.
So how were you approached to do the show? Like, because you're kind of out of the picture for a little while there.
Well, 7, maybe 8 years ago, I did the original Surreal Life.
That's 7 years ago already?
Yeah, 7 years ago.
Damn.
And while we were doing that show, I got offered a actual sitcom out of that, because they see I got it. I got it pretty quickly, and it was over at Warner Brothers, and at that time the president changed, and so we didn't do anything. And but the guys who did that show with me ended up becoming the biggest producers of reality TV in the business. So they ended up doing the whole block for VH1, the Flavor of Love, New York, all the same guys. They
Abrego?
It was Chris Abrego and Mark Cronin, and I'm leaving out somebody.
Who was with you on that? Was that the Webster year?
Yeah, that was
Webster year.
I love that. I love the original Surreal.
That was the
one.
original one. Yeah,
It was the Webster year, and was
Vince
Tammy Faye
Neal.
Baker was on that one?
No, Vince Neal, Corey Feldman,
All right.
Manuel Lewis. Yeah, but that was the year.
And
So
that
was
was
the
when
first show.
you went off about the sushi on the girl.
Right.
They had sushi on a naked girl, and Hammer wasn't
Right.
having it.
Right.
We were like, hold on, man. I ain't getting down with all that, man. Y'all exploiting her, So anyway,
Oh, you're not
so,
in exploiting women, Hammer?
not like that,
I'm
man.
outta here, man.
Only personal. Look at personal. No, I ain't in that. I'm not. I don't believe in that. You know that.
Well,
we gonna be exploiting the women.
One
But
of those-
anyway,
one of those videos we were just watching, though.
Except for
earlier.
357 back in the day. I'm
my
playing
girl.
around with you. I'm messing with you. What they doing? What are they doing?
Wait.
And the two big MC, what are they doing?
okay, hold on. Chain of thought, man. Hold on. Don't digress, man. Keep chain of thought. Focus, man. Y'all focus in here.
We've been wanting to say that to Patrice for years. Thank you, MC.
Hey, no. So I'm only saying that to
Tell him
say.
to breathe, too.
I just wanted to be-
Because that will help the show as well.
I just wanted to see if he had another two big MC. I thought thought I'd try to be that.
Yeah,
I love Too Big MC.
We hold auditions for that right after this, and you better be ready since you put it out there now. But no, so anyway, I made a decision that I wouldn't do reality unless I had creative control. Unless I could be executive producer, creator of the show, I wouldn't do it. So I got offered shows for the last 6-7 years all the time. I said, no. And about a year and some change ago, A&E approached me and they gave me a call and said, Hammer, would you be interested in doing a show with us? We've been doing some research, your demographics, blah, blah, blah. And I said, under these circumstances, these parameters, I would be interested. And we cut the deal, and it still took another year to get the language right because I wanted to make sure that the language is right. So that's the genesis of how this show came about.
What is it about you that makes you, I mean, people are fascinated by you. Like, I mean, there's been a lot of rappers who have been successful, who have put out a lot of albums, but people have had a long-standing fascination with you. Is it because you were perceived to have been doing really well and then not doing well? Or what is it that people are just, they can't get enough of you?
He was famous.
No, but it's more than that with him. He
was famous. No rapper was famous.
No, people are not. People don't want to see LL Cool J.
I'm letting them go back and forth. Work it out, guys. Work it out.
Let me answer this for you.
Work it out. Go ahead. Work it out. Work it out.
Famous.
Work it out. Work it out. I mean,
But of course he was. That's why I said there's been a lot of rappers. I didn't say you're the only guy that ever do that. But there's been a lot of rappers.
No,
so I'm saying,
not famous.
Nobody's asking KRS-One to do a reality show.
Because KRS-One wasn't famous.
He was famous, but not as famous.
Famous. There's no such thing as famous. Hammer had a show. He had 100 guys on. He wasn't a rapper.
He's right
in
here.
Terms of
yeah, exactly. He's not dead.
I'm letting them work it out, man. Work it out.
Hammer, you wasn't a rapper he was famous. That's what it was. He was famous.
Yes, he was famous.
Hammer was the first famous rapper.
What?
No, he wasn't.
There was
he was very
else.
famous, but not the first. Run DMC. They weren't famous.
They weren't famous till after. I would argue till
they
after
were very
Walk
famous.
This Way, but he was.
Oh wow.
LL Cool J was famous.
No.
Mainstream fame you're talking about?
I'm talking
Fab Five Freddy, motherfucker.
I'm just saying it was a phenomenon, dude.
MC Hammer's just going to watch us argue now.
Say, hey, at any
I would
point,
say.
you guys, if
What's your opinion on the matter?
We don't consider any other rapper to be a phenomenon like you, Hammer. You a phenomenon.
That's not.
If you can stand on the outside and look at not you.
It ain't my. I should say it's not my style to compliment. I don't want to fan my own flame. But what I'm saying is, by the way, for the first time, I even addressed my perspective on all of it from a business perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I did it with allhiphop.com and video wise, and they're gonna release it this weekend. But I actually put everything in proper perspective for the first time, and I articulate some of the things that you are saying from my perspective. So, the third person, the Hammer thing. At one point, second album. Keep in mind, my first album sold 3 million copies. So when I became a quote unquote popular artist, there was a foundation that was laid already of triple platinum album, and I had already gone from an opener to a closer on my first album. So it was not like I came out of nowhere. With the second album, when I hit number one in January, and in the summer, in July, I was still number one. You have to really put that in perspective. Just understand what you know about radio. Records come out every Tuesday, and there's a staff of people who are responsible for getting records to number one, and that's their job. They had to come and tell the boss every week from January to July, who's number one this week? MC Hammer? February.
What was the big song from that album?
I'm gonna make a point. So we go all the way through that. So I picked up a lot of competitors and enemies along the way. Marketing budgets. At one point, it became the other 5 labels' marketing budgets versus Hammer and his labels'
Destroy
marketing.
Hammer campaign.
Exactly. That's the point I'm making. So when you say what's the fascination, you got to understand that I took on the entire music business as one artist for a half a year. And in other words, literally millions of marketing dollars versus just our marketing budget. And it was, how can we fight the Hammer?
Was that too legit to
movement?
quit time?
No, that came secondly, but that was the tail end of the attack because the first one failed. So the first one is like, how do we take on Hammer? Oh, okay. At the end of that one, He sold 10 million records just on that album, so they lost that one. So with the Too Legit to Quit album, they started early. So it was like
that was a third album.
That was a third album.
Oh, that was before the destruction. Too Legit to Quit was after the
Wait,
destruction.
wait. I know where you're going. What was the hit off the second album? That's what we're all lost.
That was Can't Touch This.
No.
Yes, it was. Second album's Can't Touch
What
This.
was the hit off the first album?
First album sold 3 million.
Turn his mother out. Let's get it started. Ring them. They put me in a mix. All the records came on my first. I had 6 known records off my first album and 5 videos. So, so when you ask what is it, it's a lot. It's a lot. If you just put on a Hammer mix right now, you're going to go through 20 songs that people actually know. One just is so far above the others, but there's 20 songs that I do in concert. My song Adam's Groove from the Addams Family movie.
Holy Mother of
Oh, I
Jesus!
forgot about that one.
Just that song.
I forgot about that monster.
That one itself sold, and I quote, 4 million singles. Just that one.
Jeez.
Just that song.
Wow.
And that's off the Too Legit to
Did
Quit.
you see his first video? The one that was shot. The one that put him on the.
Yeah.
It was it was
what
shot like
song?
I think Turner's Mother. No,
What, Too Legit off
the one
this
that was
album?
shot looked like it was shot like an unfinished construction site kind of thing. It was real raw. The one where you Oaktown 357.
Oh, that's off the first album.
It wasn't. I forgot, but it was. It put him on the map. It was like
So just to put that in perspective, keep in mind this all began in '88. Yeah. So that's the other thing that you have to understand. From '88 till '95, my last hit of that run was 7 years later, which was my worst album. It only sold like 1.8 million, so it was a real bad time for me.
Bumps in the rumps?
Exactly. They said with that one he's definitely finished because he's only sold about 1.7 million, 1.8 million.
You should have sold thongs after that. Holy shit, we couldn't stop looking at the thong.
So that one I'm saying the 2 platinum singles off of that one was It's All Good and Pumps in the Bump. So anyway, so that's what it is. It's a combination of years and years of hits, years and years of touring, millions of records, and affiliated with movies and a whole lot of stuff.
I want you to back up for a second. When you're on the level you were and you sell 1.8 million, they look at that as like a failure almost, right? Like it was a bust.
Yeah, but they can't.
Which is insane.
I'm saying, but I'm from the inside out, not outside in. So, but you're right. You're right. They say, hey, for you. What do you mean for me? Your record right next to mine, same store. What you mean? Here they
for
come.
you, MC Hammer, it's another hit, obviously.
Yeah, I'm saying
1.8 million of anything is unbelievable. But when you're on the level you were at, they're like, it was a flop. See, he's done.
Yeah. Well, you can't fool me with that.
You're done after selling 1.8 million. That's ridiculous.
Right. Well, and I knew that at that time because I know that. I mean, your record is this is the argument I always have with anybody. Wait a minute, did you make a record at the same time I made one? Okay, did you put yours in the same stores? You did. Oh, same aisle? So they came in, and here's the acid test. When they went in their wallet, they brought their money out and say, I'll take one of those. And yours that you classified as all different type of nomenclatures you put on it to justify it not selling. It's this over here, this is what you call classic right here. This right here is real unique. We giving it to them raw. Whatever it is, it mean it don't sell. That's what it means. When that money come out that wallet, they say, I'll take this home and this, it resonates with my family with me and we enjoy it. So those kind of battles that I fought early on also contribute to my longevity in the long run. So
the other thing I want to mention, when you first started, too, you were selling your own records out of the hood of your car, right?
The trunk.
The trunk. Sorry.
Want a spark plug or a CD?
This whole room hasn't slept. We all stayed up all night. We had things last night. But out of the trunk of your car, you were selling your own albums.
Yeah, I started off selling the records out the trunk. I went to all the music events. So even 2 years before that, I came here to New York in 1986, went to the Latin Quarters where all the rappers were, doing their thing. And I announced myself as I'm next, man. I'm next. And of course, it was like, yeah, right. And so that led to the Turn This Mother Out song when I said, man, I'm getting some momentum here. I'm hitting in Cleveland. I'm hitting in Detroit, but Hammer, you ain't hitting in New York. I wrote that myself because I'm saying I'm not satisfied until I take on New York. And I imagine that from the West Coast, from Oakland.
But it was your
challenging New York
to be here in New York. Because I remember I was 18 when Hammer came out, so I was essentially adult. And the thing is, it was the it was the visual that got people love Hammer. He did the Running Man first. He did he did a lot of stuff first.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the visual with the hook. It was Hammer. He was a phenomenon back then. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you ain't got to tell me. I
mean, it's
remember,
amazing. But let me ask you: if you come out with something else, are you retired from music?
Are you kidding me? The melodies never stop. So I'm only saying.
Are you going to have to dance? Are you going to dance though? You got to be. What are you? 76? Hammer's pliers now.
I'm about to swing on him. I'm going to swing on him. Hold on.
I'm just saying,
I'm cold with these. I'm cold.
You didn't comment on how good the skin looking, man. Hammer's a Vito, man. The Hammer's in great shape.
man.
Thank you.
Hammer's in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, he started in 86. He doesn't look old enough to start in 86. Right?
Well,
how old are you, Hammer? Do you say?
No, I do. Of course, I'm proud. I'm 47. Yeah, I'm very proud because it ain't no 22, 24 years old, 25-year-olds who do what we do, the music business. They not in this kind of shit. They get drunk, stay high too much. They can't hit the hip. They can't do it. I lift 80s for breakfast. I curl 80s for breakfast. So
yeah.
So anyway, I enjoy working out. I enjoy dancing. I did a show in Detroit a couple weeks ago. I got Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. June 20th, 5 days weekend. I perform all the time.
I must say, it's not pathetic. Like you see, you might see an old Temptations reunion.
Hey, leave the Temptations alone.
It's not like Hammer. You did something where you had a fur coat on something. You just did a little cameo. I think it might have been BET Awards.
25th anniversary.
And people get mesmerized. He can't a little fur coat, and he only did a little hammering.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And it wasn't pathetic. It was like. You go, holy, Hammer still got it.
Appreciate
Hammer.
that. I love dancing. I do.
Well, and people root for you too. Like people just root. Dude, people. It's just because in the hood you just go. You know the story, and the hood talks. Like I don't know how white people end up. In the position they are in terms of fame, like when you talk
it's all the grand conspiracy.
Yeah. I don't, put it this way:
God puts us there.
Like the rise and the fall and the rise of Led Zeppelin or something. I'm just pulling the word out.
Aerosmith's a good one.
Everyone knows the Hammer, the thing with Hammer. So it's just interesting, man. And it's like you just go, man. You just know what people are saying.
Yeah.
At a particular time in a particular way, and you just go that BET thing. You just go Hammer had his fur coat, and they just went boom, and he just did two things.
Yeah,
and people were like, God, holy shit!
Now you got the TV show. What level of like your life are we going to see here? Is this pretty uncensored as far as what you do? What are we going to be seeing?
Well, we introduced a man. So what I mean by that is and by the way, everything that I've said. So far in this interview, none of it was to be self-serving. I was just trying to describe the scenario, of my career and why you were debating and I was listening on, he was famous. I was just trying to.
But no, I wasn't saying that you weren't famous.
No. Okay. I was just trying to quantify. How. So
I think it came across.
I don't know. Believe it or not, I hate tooting my own horn. It's not my thing. I just like to. I like to perform. But so on the show, one of the reasons why I said yes is because nobody really knows me outside of the music.
Yep.
And my friends and my business partners have complained for 12 years as if it's my fault. They'll go in there and they'll say, Hammer, why do you when you go on radio, why do you talk like that? Why won't you let them see the business acumen or the man? I said, well, it's not the right place. There's not enough time. I'm on the next guy's zone. So with the show, I get to show the father, the uncle that I am, the brother, the businessman. I do a panel at the MIT Stanford Lab. In the last 2 months right now, I've lectured at Stanford on social media, Harvard on social media. I'm an early adopter of social media platforms. I've been going to Google for the last 6-7 years.
What's social media, by the way? I don't know.
I'll explain. But I'm saying, I've been doing these things for quite a while.
I don't know what it is. He's saying words. I don't like how Hammer's just.
I just like how he shuts you
Yeah,
up.
just.
I like how
we can
shut
because
you
it's
up.
Hammer.
No, no,
we can
But I
learn
want to
from
know
MC
social,
Hammer.
you know.
But he has a way of just shutting you up.
No, I just got to finish my thought. I'm going to finish my thought. I ain't
all
shut
we
the
wanna
ball.
do sometimes.
I'm just finishing my thought. So what I'm saying is I had got a love for technology early on. It was I wanted to figure out how to get my videos on the internet. Right. So I had to learn this stuff.
There's a lot
Got
going
me
on.
laughing.
That's what
All
social
right,
media is. That's all.
all right. So social media.
Hey, where'd you get your hat? See how that is?
Oh, there we go. There we
The
go.
same question.
All we're saying is Mr. Hammer was trying to make a point, and he didn't let him make his point.
Get him.
Well, he's on Twitter. He's a big Twitter guy.
No, see, I like how you try to avoid. I'm real fast. I got that. I got that. I won't pull the cover off. All right. He's a big Twitter guy.
Is that bad?
So what do I? I won't do it to you. I won't do it to you. I won't do it. You know.
All right.
Right?
What are you gonna do to him?
He knows.
He's going to beat me up.
So I'm a big Twitter guy. Yes, I was an early adopter of Twitter. I actually, the founders invited me to come speak on my business idea of monetization of the platform a month ago, which I had actually approached them a year ago to say, here's some things that we'll be able to do in the music business with this platform ultimately, which include, I have a show at Radio City Music Hall. You should be able to just click here. And that ticket goes right to the phone, to the emails, done. Right. So the challenge, and what's scary for a lot of business people, unbeknownst to many, is that the distance between creation of content and the consumer has shortened drastically. So you put the music on, you like the song. I start talking about my concert. As of today, I'll use myself for example. I'm probably at 800,000 followers. So let's just say that 20,000 of them or 50,000 of them are here in New York. I'm only trying to sell 4,000 seats at the Radio City Music Hall. I announce my concert. I sell the tickets all from my phone. We're done. Oh, I didn't buy no commercials. I'm sorry, gentlemen. Do that. Yep. Maybe I'll circle back to that in a few years.
It's like iTunes cutting the record industry out. You're cutting all these middlemen out.
It's all and it's done. It's not like maybe it'll happen. It's done. It's happening. It's done. Yeah. It's done. So the things that we need to do to just finish the transactional things, those they already exist, and we just move them over and we integrate them into the interface. So. That's the kind of stuff that I like to stay on top of because the music industry is very slow to adopt to new technology and it kills them. Mm-hmm. And I'm a music guy. So if you want, as a business, get in early, I'll do it as an individual.
It has, yeah.
So I don't know what that got to do with Hammer Time, but...
Well, I don't even know how to ask this, but you seem like you're a great businessman. You have a great head on your shoulders. So what happened? The famous Behind the Music where we all saw like, holy shit. Hammer was on top of the world, lost it all, and now obviously has brought it right back up.
Well,
but what happened in that time where like you were losing your way?
Loyalty.
I would say you two things that you said earlier. One, you said how big the show is.
Right.
Well, the show is a business, and behind the show is another layer of business. I mean, the support team, and behind the music the label is another support team. So. It's real simple. You never heard me on the radio or television or any other existing mediums complaining about how the rise and fall of MC Hammer, he's pissed it all off. However you want,
It did become kind of a you were
that's
like
all
the
we know.
Xerox.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And you never.
That guy pulled a hammer.
Right. Right. Exactly. And what I did.
Became like
but it's true. It's true. But it's true.
Right.
It's true.
What, he was dancing? Nah.
No. So I was very aware of,
right.
and I just listened and I said, wow, because there were two chain of thoughts for me. One is that it's not like you don't really know. It wasn't no secret. Like everybody knew that I had 200 employees. It wasn't no secret. So what you think? I was paying them in hamburgers. So you know somebody was paying that payroll and it wasn't falling. So I was doing that. So if you wanted to now say the story is MC Hammer just pissed his money off when you knew that I was employing 200 people from my community, it said more about you than it did about me. So I didn't go on the radio to defend that. Because if you every now and then somebody would say after the sensational part of it, they said, he took care of a lot of people. But anyway, we're going right next to the next commercial. So I said, wow, this is very interesting to me. So if a guy that you know in the middle of the crack era, when everybody was dying, machine guns everywhere, decided he wanted to try to pull some guys out of that, if his fate is to be the guy who we're going to introduce for the next 14 years is, hey, we're going to talk about MC Hammer next, how he pissed off 30 million. Man, that's what you get for trying to contribute to the community. But the guy who might be known for exploiting, and of course, we got our man right now with the hottest record in the world coming on next. He says every in the country need to drop down now and suck here. Coming up next, our hero. I said, oh, so I need to let them do that. And I'm going somewhere else for a while because that fight I'm not fighting. That's a personal fight. That's your perspective on life, the world, and how you see things. I can't fight that. You got to have what you want. Some people love this. Some people love that.
Never heard your perspective on that whole thing. I only heard other people's
I never did.
Story, yeah.
I never did. For
Don't
the first
hire
time.
nobody.
This is the first time on our Opie show.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying I never did it because I didn't need to.
Did people take advantage of you? People like take advantage of your loyalty, your good nature?
They didn't take advantage of me because even if, as you hear me speak, and not to pat myself on the back, but you can see I'm a pretty smart guy. Yeah. So it's not like you was doing a shell game in front of me and I'm picking the wrong P or something. 3-card Molly.
No, I just mean with 200 people, it's a little easier to hide stuff with that many people.
It's a different.
There's a loyalty, but I also think
it's not loyalty in this case per se.
But you're also on a really high level, so when that level started to drop a little bit, it made it tougher to take care of all these people.
We just talking about revenue generation. It's not real complicated. Are you making enough money to sustain the business? It's not. It's not that. So, but from my perspective, it was loyalty. But I just wanted to do loyalty with the interpretation of it. We were dying. This is the real thing. It's not fake. Go and look at the murder rate in my city at the time. My city became very famous for being in the top 3 in homicides. That's where I lived. That's where I grew up my entire life. I didn't grow up somewhere else. Some of the people that were dying were my classmates, my neighbors. So when I had the hammer thing, I would literally call home. I'd be on the road. I'd call home and somebody say, hey, what John doing? What you mean what John doing? John dead. I said, what you mean John is dead? I just talked to him 2 weeks ago. He said, yeah, John dead and Sam killed him. I thought, Sam lived 2 houses down from John killed him? Over what? Well, blah, 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 blah. So I said, well, let me speak to Sam then. Hey, Sam, man, check this out, man. Why? Well, blah, blah, blah. I said, why don't you come out here on the road with me, man? I can give you $30,000 a year. I can't give you what you're making on the block. But, man, I can't have you keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you killing the very cats we grew up with. Well, 10 turned to 20, 20 turned to 30. I'm cool with that. I was cool with that because the amount of money that I was generating was worth the lives to me. Now, in retrospect, for the sake of story, I always say, Hammer, if you had to do it all over again, wouldn't you? Come on, Hammer, just say you kept some of that money. I say, yeah, if I had to do all over again, I would absolutely, put some of that money in the bank and all that. But the real truth is, not in exchange for the lives that lived, I wouldn't do it. I always knew that I could generate money. Right. I had my first job at 8. At 9, it's very documented. You can go to my Twitter right now and pull up a picture of me and Hank Aaron. It says the 2 hammers finally meet. Know what the date of the picture says? 1975.
Yeah, I've seen that.
In 1975, I was already in my 3rd year of a job. I've been an entrepreneur from day one, so I'm not ever concerned about generating money, but I got caught up in my humanity.
So just to summarize, you decided to go down with the ship.
Yeah,
you didn't have to go down with the ship.
I didn't have to. They pulled me in.
You could have let those guys.
You should have told
die.
30 guys with shiny pants.
Right.
Get out.
That's probably very true.
You see that move we did last show? Do that right out there.
Keep going with that. When we get the running man to the left, just don't come back.
Do that tippy toe move to the left and keep doing it. Someone will hold the door for you.
Dance left until you hit water.
Hey, keep going, right?
Loyalty.
There's something else that has to be said. I think you also were taking a gamble too. Like, all right, I see that this thing is sinking, but I'm just one song away from bringing this whole damn thing right back up.
As if you were in my brain,
right?
I absolutely felt that way. I felt like
because you're way too smart to just watch it.
No,
sink.
I actually did.
The whole
think
time
that.
You were probably thinking, all right,
one more hit,
one song, one of this.
We go right back out on the road. I generate more money. And everything is cool. Well, it didn't happen like that. So that was the difference between, being able to sustain it long enough between hits because I made a decision that was the craziest thing from a business perspective, probably in the history of touring. When we come off the road, what are you guys going to do? Well, I heard the mumbling. What you mean? What you think we going to do? We going to go get some of these keys and get to work. Keep it moving. I was like,
was you worried? These guys around you?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was around me. But
I'm saying the dudes
worried about the guys,
the gangsters that you had around you. Did that make you a little nervous?
Well, no, because I'm kind of, I know how to switch my hats, man. So,
hammered means something else than we always thought it meant.
Yeah, I know. I ain't never had a problem with that ever. So we all grew up in the same way you ended up with that mentality. I ended up, but I decided not to access it. Immediately when I'm angry, it's not my first option.
Right.
So, but I made the decision. I was like, man, when we off the road, no, don't do that because one, we back in the same hole again. I ain't got time for these funerals. I'm tired of it. I'm not doing it. So I'm gonna keep y'all on the payroll even when we not on the road.
That's
so
expensive.
I paid the same amount of money when I was off the road as I did when I was on. It was a very conscious decision, and it was, in hindsight, from many perspectives, you'll say, man, you shouldn't have did that. And again, I wrestle with it. I'm gonna wrestle with it for the rest of my life. My conclusion is, I'll take life, and thank God it all turned out okay from an economic standpoint, but historically the story will probably never be told the way. It'll never be told that way. This will probably be the last time it's told that way, but everybody who was there and who know about it know every word that I'm saying it to. You come to my studio, you'll see 60 new cars out there. They all belong to my employees and my dancers. I co-signed for everybody because they go down to the bank and they couldn't qualify for a car. And I thought that was very insulting. So I would say, you know what? What do you mean they can't? They work for me. They got a job. Well, this is their first bit of credit. Oh, so you want to insult? You want to insult people? Okay, no problem. Send it over to me. I'm co-signing. Well, I ended up co-signing for 60 cars. So I was like, but I want to create a middle class right now among the people who work for me to show that we don't only have to hustle hard. We don't only have to sell dope. We don't only have to bring these machine guns to you to make this money. So that was my dilemma. And that's why I ended up going down with the ship, because I hoped that one more hit, we can keep it going. Yeah. But we didn't get to one more hit, so I got the hit. It was called bankruptcy. And that's why you never heard me complain. I took the hit and took the hits.
You took them from 0 to 60. That's what the issue is. Like, you can't just take somebody from a certain, because I got friends where I'm like, hey, man, instead of going to Atlanta for whatever you're going to do, let's save up your money. Let's go to Melbourne, Australia. And it's like, what? So if I just took them to Melbourne, Australia, that would be not smart.
Yeah,
I would have to teach them somehow to want to go to Melbourne.
Right.
He gave them stuff, and what they did is just Hammer's giving us stuff.
I crippled some people. I did. Some people I crippled because some guys never wanted to work again.
They just became dependent. Right,
No, seriously. Some of my guys were like 7 years later, 5 years later after bankruptcy. Hey, what you doing? Shoot, waiting for you. Yeah, waiting for you to get it on, man. I said, man, come on, you can't be you. Man, shoot, we waiting for that next hit. Hey, man, that was 5 years ago, dog. And you had to. It's all right, man. I'm all right. I'm gonna hold on to it. And 8 years later, waiting for that next hammer hit. So I crippled some cats.
How much pressure did that put on you when you were writing? Because now all of a sudden you're writing to sustain a financial empire instead of just as an artist.
That's well said. That's well said. So yeah, at some point
we're really smart, Hammer.
Yeah, you guys, you should do. You guys should actually try to get on the radio or something. Man.
These mics are
you guys pretty smart. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but it was such a dead on point statement. It all changed. It's because, as you know, I write from a very joyous, dancing, reflective position. That's the other thing. Without digressing too far, for every dance record I made a record dealing with issues. The issue records are never big as the dance records. But I say we got to pray, help the children. When we living in a world like this, why can't we live together? So I always balanced them all. But by the time I got to the Funky Headhunter, one is I was tired of cats who wouldn't want to see the other Hammer on no day in their life, under any circumstance, physical, choose your choice of weapons, whatever it is that you engage another man with, you wouldn't want a piece of me under no circumstances. Making records where they get to say my name or stuff like that. I ain't never been that cat, and so I made a record that I wouldn't have normally made and addressed some of those issues, and I wrote from the perspective of you just said, 1, we need a big hit, and 2, I want some heads.
Listen, I got they're going to turn us off in 2 minutes.
Okay,
We're on a computer, and we want to
okay.
make sure everyone knows about Hammer Time, which is the reality show you're pushing big time. This Sunday, 10 p.m. on A&E. And he's learned his lesson because he came here with his son. That's it. I didn't see 100 guys in the hall.
No. Hey.
Right.
No funny haircut, just the son.
Just him and his son.
They're going to get here, but they came by mule.
They still walking here from Oakland.
They get here next year. They own, God willing, they're on season 2 of Hammer Time. And look, and my final plug then. Hammer Time will be Sunday nights, 10 p.m. on A&E.
You know what? You sold me. I'm going to watch.
Starting when? Starting this
For
Sunday?
real. I'm going to watch this.
This Sunday's the first show? Or?
Yeah, this is the first show this Sunday.
Yeah, we'll definitely watch. And Patrice, they're going to shut us off.
I know.
So
Patrice is
I'm in
comics
comics.
tonight
it's
and
going to be an awkward
tomorrow.
ending because the computer's going to, knock us off. But
It happened to me before. They turned my lights off before. That's a different story. I've seen that before. Go ahead. Yeah, okay, everybody get ready. It's going out now.
Yeah, pretty much 40 seconds. So comics tonight and tomorrow for Patrice. And they're telling me that your Twitter name's wrong. It's Big Mama
BIGMOMMA
Prod.
PRODS.
Okay, one word.
And mine is one word, MC Hammer.
Oh, shit, you
Twitter,
got MC
MC
Hammer.
Hammer.
How do you get MC Hammer?
You invest early.
Oh, that's right. He was twitting early. That's right.
That's right. Before anyone else could get